Hello everybody, this is Big Dave reporting to you live, Charles News Network. Today we have some pretty huge news to cover about the server events and activities going on. And right now, we have an exclusive interview with our very own, legendary, Luke Productions. Hello Luke, how about you introduce yourself real quick, for the people back home.
My name is Luke Broad, and I am a player on the Charles SMP. I happen to lead the faction Lopad. It's gone on for about 4 years now, and it's been doing quite well.
So, as you all know, after Easton Burton's latest of many scandals, this time involving the duping of items using creative mode on an alt account, he was kicked out of the CFA and has been showing much hostility towards Luke and his faction Lopad. Luke here was given the task of being the prosecutor against Burton, which has caused lots of ill will feelings and resentment from Burton. A war involving Lopad, Aglaria, Glassopia, and Kikuchi actually sparked due to recent events regarding yet again another one of Easton Burton's alt accounts. So Luke, with that being said, please describe us how these events have unfolded and what your personal motives were in declaring war on Easton Burton.
Well, like you said, this conflict happened when a certain Easton Burton just got really mad that I was against him in the trial. Now, you have to remember, I was assigned that position. I didn't choose it and ask for it. But I was assigned it, and I did my best job, and it was found out that Easton did in fact use creative mode to dupe items. So I was pretty angry about that, as most people were. And it wasn't out of hate for Burton, but of wanting the rules of the server to be followed. But Burton didn't see it that way. He just hated me. He began to hate Lopad too, and he began to plot our destruction. And at the same time, while we were having this tension with Burton, there was a lot of tension with Glassopia too, which Burton used to his advantage. At the time, GLX was calling us names, mocking us, saying he was going to destroy Lopad. So Easton Burton, one day, in the middle of all this tension, joins the server on his ult, he assassinates me, and he says, "For Glassopia." At the time, nobody knew it was his ult, so this created more tension, and eventually when it was learned that it was his ult, I said, okay, we're not going to deal with this, I'm just declaring war on Easton Burton, which is what we did. And Glassopia, they came out and said, we will protect Easton Burton. I said, okay, if you're going to protect Easton Burton, we're going to declare war on you. And they said, okay, I don't care. So our hand was forced with Glassopia. We weren't seeking war at the time with them, and there were high tensions. We thought about war, but they made it certain, not us. They're the ones that sealed the deal, motivated us to actually declare war. And because they made the pledge to protect Easton Burton. It was on a Lopad killing rampage. And when that happened, Aglaria joined our side and Kikuchi joined theirs. And that is how we're here today, the current situation.
So, in this war, what does Lopad plan to do when they win?
Lopad, I'll put it to you this way. The TDA conflict, the Kikuchi conflict, all these little Cavalier uprisings, Sophia has always chose which side, the side against us, every single time. They never stop to think about who's right, who's wrong. They say we hate Lopad because they see Lopad isn't this established faction that's been around for a long time, and they're totally against that. They want to uproot the world order and establish their own Cavalier domination. I mean, that's literally it. If you're any faction that's well established and been around for a while, you're an enemy to Glassopia. And for their entire existence, they've been a refuge for Cavaliers. They've been allies of, or under the direct control of Slack. And I do not think it would be such a bad thing to end Glossopia, in my opinion.
So you plan on ending
To make this I plan to make this the final Cavalier War. And the only way to do that is to end this faction. It's for its entire existence. It's always been against people like us. That's always right now. They plan to, when they get New Galvin, they plan to rename it or blow it up. That's their plan. This faction cannot continue, and let people say, well, this is too harsh. Okay, well maybe it is, but if you don't do it, you're gonna have 100 more of these little conflicts, and I'm tired of it, frankly. So this is gonna be the last Cavalier War, and we will end Glossopia.
I think a lot of people are tired of it. Lots of the oldest players that actively play, and even the new people as well, very tired of it.
Yep.
So I think you might be right in that regard. Well, would you say you have any closing statements then about what we've talked about this interview?
One last thing is that I'd just like to quickly dispel the myth, because these Cavaliers, they love to push the myth that Lopad and the Galariad, they're weak. They're incompetent, they can't contend on their own with Glossopia, and that's just a myth. That is not true. Lopad and Galariad are some of the most well-established factions in the entire server. We have infrastructure, factories, roads, bridges, all that great stuff. Glossopia, it has none of it. They have people, they have about 6 or 7 people all together that'll get on for battle day. And that's what they have. And that's what we're fighting against. And so I just like to take the time to dispel that myth that Lopad is just this weak faction. No, we're a very strong faction, and we're going to stand up against GLX and all that he's trying to do to us.
Oh, very good. I guess that wraps things up. So, thank you for agreeing to this interview, Luke. The insight is greatly appreciated, and I wish you the best of luck going forward. Moving on, we have some more news regarding the server's current status and functionality. The server itself is back up and is just about fully operational now. There are a few things currently broken still in game, like custom armor, weapons, custom food items, and faction tags beside player names. But besides that, the server is back up and running, and the creative mode chaos from last week was put to an end after every major city on the server was blown to hell. There was an issue with our Pebblehost server client, but that seemed to be resolved for the time being. It should be noted that there will most likely be regular issues with the server's modded items as Minecraft continues to receive more game-breaking updates from Mojang, so don't be alarmed whenever it happens. We on the staff team are always looking into solutions and fixes to these issues. It'll also be known that server issues are never permanent, so don't let it deter you from playing the server. A new factional alliance has recently started to grow, going by the name of the SFU. On August 16th, they made the following statements in a promotional news article for their alliance. A great start for the SFU. In these early days of our union, the SFU has proven to be a space for collaboration and growth. While there are still members to join, we look forward to seeing more of our members join. So far, we have managed to lay the foundations for a promising future where business development and the prosperity of small factions is our priority. We thank all current members for their efforts and commitment. We look forward to your acceptance to further strengthening our alliance. Long live the SFU and the spirit of cooperation that unites us. To close off this news video, I thought it would also be worth mentioning that Operation Pager is halfway finished. For those of you unfamiliar, This is an effort from our head admin Paige to completely rework all claim command blocks and condense the command center, so lag is significantly reduced and preferably eliminated. It's a lot of hard, time-consuming work, so make sure to thank her if you see her around. Our wonderful staff team members, Luke, API, and Paige, have done more work on helping the flow of the server than anyone else. That concludes this week's Charles News Network coverage. This has been Big Dave reporting to you live on the scene, trying to keep you up to date on the latest server news. Make sure to stay tuned for next week's video, and if you want to feature a story in a CNN video, reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to cover whatever news you have to tell. It's a very large community, and I'm just one man, so there's always sure to be things that I miss. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day, and as always, praise God. Goodbye.